Hi everyone, it is finally the day. It is garden tour day. I decided to film this when it's like 80 or 90 degrees today, so we're gonna get through this right now. So let's go. This is the first plant that we have up, our aloe vera plant. This has been here for years. This was actually planted by my sister and her husband. A lot of the plants here in the garden were planted by my sister and her husband, and then they moved, so me and Chris have just been maintaining them. It's a great aloe plant. Sometimes I do use it for sunburns and whatnot. So the next plant that we have here, this is Gemma. She is a white guava plant, also known as a Mexican guava plant. I would love some tips. She hasn't produced fruit. She has like one fruit growing and it just stopped. If anyone has any tips for guava plants, please let me know. I'm already sweating, everyone. It is so hot out here. Oh my goodness.
Woo! It is hot as a witch's coochie out here.
The next plant. I know you see this big plant here and you're like, oh my gosh, it's a chard plant. It is a chard plant, but I'm actually here to introduce you to our dragon fruit plant. I also don't know about dragon fruit plants. This is my first time growing dragon fruit plants, and there's like this sunburn. I don't know what it is. I've looked it up. People are saying that it's normal and that it's a sunburn. Some people are saying that I had to throw the whole fruit away, but then I continued to have hope in this dragon fruit plant, and despite the burn, it grew a new branch. So yeah, I know you're also wondering, Avery, why the hell do you have a giant chard growing in the middle of your dragon fruit plants? That is an amazing question. My sister and her husband grew this chard plant and it was dying. So then I pulled it. I pulled it from the ground, and then I grew my dragon fruit plants here and it just started growing again. This thing is resilient. Like literally, I took out all the roots, apparently not all of them. The whole plant was gone and then it came back. I just keep the chard here now. It wants to grow. What can I say? Now it shares a space with the dragon fruit plant. I don't know if that's an issue, but they're both thriving. Okay, so I know you don't see a plant here, but this is my tomato plant, and I actually grew these from a seed. So they're very tiny right now, and you're probably wondering, you know, like tomato plants need sun. Why is this on here? I originally had them out in the sun and then they started turning yellow, and I was like, oh, I was reading that it was getting too much sun, and yeah, it's really hot where I am right now. The fertilizer, the quote-unquote fertilizer that I use has been coffee grounds, used coffee grounds, which I've heard is a great source of nitrogen, which plants love. If anyone has any other tips for my tomato plants, they're so tiny. I think maybe I'm just impatient, so if anyone has any like fast-growing tips, please let me know. I already know what you're thinking. You're like, Avery, why is this damn tree nearly on the floor? I am a beginner gardener. This is a tangelo plant. A tangelo plant is like a tangerine mixed with a grapefruit or pomelo. My sister also planted this and it was dying. And this is Chris's little plant, his little project. He was like, no, I'm going to revive this tangelo plant. And we started putting used coffee grounds on it. Now it's producing fruit, and I think we might get some tangelos this summer, so I'm really excited. It's on the floor because according to Chris, he looked it up and these plants tend to like grow at a weird angle. It's like growing like a curve. We've tried to put a stick on it and I heard cracking. So I was like, okay, we're breaking the branches, so I'm just gonna let you grow how you want to grow. No judgment. I'm here for support. You do make me a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie. We love her either way. She's producing fruit, she's healthy. I can't say much more. If you want a resilient plant, if you really want to grow produce that is resilient, this is just, in my experience, grow this. I am not exaggerating with you. We have not touched these all season, haven't watered them, haven't even looked in their direction. And I've pulled it out and it's here and they're growing. These things are resilient. This is a sunchoke. It is a root vegetable. I've tried it once and it did kind of taste like jicama. You know, I heard the name and I thought it was like the combination of a artichoke and a potato, but no, it's a sunchoke. The leftover sunchoke that we did not touch, the moles in our backyard ate them. I'm pretty sure, because there was a molehill over here and they were gone. So shout out to the moles for doing our job for us. Also, I do just leave them because they produce such huge, tall, beautiful flowers that pollinators enjoy. Sorry, speaking of pollinators, there was a bee flying my way. I didn't want to get in its way. I wish I had flowers now so I can show show you, but the pollinators love them. Why do I keep mentioning pollinators? Because pollinators are so important, not just for the ecosystem, but if you are doing a garden, you need pollinators to pollinate the flowers so food can be produced. So pollinators are important. Save the bees, take care of your pollinators, plant native plants. So these two plants here, this is my Mexican heather plant. Pollinators love her, and apparently she can resist high heat temperatures. I originally got her and she was like this big, like she was like a tiny little bundle, and now she's spreading and she's great and thriving. This over here, my sister and her husband planted sun cone plant. Sun cones are perennial plants. They kind of look like sunflowers, but the petals are purple. I don't know if there's other color variations, but ours grows pink and purple. The reason why you don't see flowers right now is because it died out during winter and then it comes back every spring and summer. So I pruned it and I trimmed it, all the withering and the dead leaves, and now it's growing again. And by the middle or end of summer, it should have purple or pink petals. And again, pollinators love a good sun cone plant. So this is my bell pepper plant. Like my tomato plants, it was too hot, so it's in a little tent. Bell peppers do need a good amount of sun, but it's just way too hot, and it's a small plant, so I don't want it to burn and shrivel out. I have grown bell peppers before, but not successfully for it to produce vegetables. I germinated a bunch of bell pepper seeds from a grocery store bell pepper, and they grew, and I put them in a little pot. This one damn squirrel that kept hiding its seeds in the bell pepper pot, and it was all sprouts, like they were little sprouts, so it was like tearing out all of my bell pepper sprouts, and I never successfully got to plant a bell pepper because the squirrel wanted to hide its seeds and nuts in the bell pepper pot. The next plant that we have here is the lemongrass plant. Lemongrass is a super yummy herb that you can use for marinating meats and noodles. My roommate actually brought this home one day and was like, I want to grow it, and I was like, okay, I'll put it in the backyard. So we've been maintaining it, and it's amazing. And I know you see all of this like fluffy, like feathery stuff behind the lemongrass. That is actually asparagus. My sister and her husband also planted the asparagus. I have harvested some asparagus, and I have also eaten some of the asparagus that I've harvested. I made like a honey glazed roasted asparagus dish, and it was really, really good. But asparagus is also perennial. It will regrow again. And I didn't harvest all of the asparagus because I wanted more for next year. So whatever is here, whatever is like touching the ground, it will drop the seeds and plant again. Kind of like these giant onions that I have over here. A lot of people, when they come in, they're like,
you need to maintain this, you need to trim them.
And I say, fuck no, because if I do, I will not have more onions. This whole batch of green onions started from one green onion, and they've all started to spread. So again, my sister and her husband planted the one green onion, and then they've began to grow and grow. This is specifically called walking onions. And the reason why they're called walking onions is actually very cool. The big bulbs that you see on top, they get so heavy and they fall over, and then they produce seeds. The seeds fall into the ground, and it creates a new stalk of onions to grow. I've had these for every season. Pollinators love them. The bees love the little bulb flowers. What is the rule in the garden? If the pollinators are happy, we're happy. But I use these for everything. I put them in soup. I put them in noodles. I love eating them with like stir-fried tofu. Also, I would say that they are pretty resilient. I do water my plants every evening so then they can absorb the water better. But sometimes if I'm super busy, I go like 2 weeks without watering them, they're great. I honestly should have filmed this garden tour in like spring. They are drying out, as you can tell. These are called nasturtiums, and they're actually edible. The leaves and the flowers. I usually like using nasturtium. I use them for decorating cupcakes, cake, put them on top of salads. I have yet to eat one, but I've been told that it has a bit of a peppery taste, which is really interesting. So I would imagine that they do taste really great in salad. The variations that we have are yellow and orange. I believe there also is a red variation that my sister grows in her own garden. Pollinators love them. They do die out during the winter time, but they will come back during spring. A bunch of them just came back this season, which is amazing because pollinators are happy. Again, when the pollinators are happy, so am I, and so should we be, because pollinators help us live and grow, and they're so cool. I am not going to be in frame for this one. I saw a little jumping spider. Gonna let it enjoy its area. So this is the area that I like to call the everything area. I don't really know what else is growing here. Like, it's just like random little plants growing, and that is okay. There is some calendula here. Oh, do you hear the birdies singing? So we have some calendula here. We have a flower called Love in a Mist. We have some mint. Calendula, I've heard, is really great for your skin. Have never used it for skin. Just have it because, again, pollinators love calendula. That little ball plant that you see with little spikies, they actually bloom, and it's a beautiful white flower, and it's called Love in a Mist, which is such a cute name. And then, of course, we have mint. And I know experienced gardeners are like,
You grew mint in the plant bed?
if you don't know, mint spreads like wild if you do not pot it. My sister and her husband planted the mint, and I honestly don't have an issue with mint being everywhere. I use mint for making like mint tea. I like putting it again on top of cakes. It's a really great herb to have. This next area here, I don't even know what to say because this used to only be cucumbers. This big flower started growing. This was not here. I know you're probably like, why would you grow your cucumbers next to a bunch of other plants? I didn't. There was nothing here. And then once I started growing my cucumbers and watering the area, everything else just started growing with it. Of course, also the mint. So now there's just like mint here and everything. My cucumbers are hard to find in all the foliage, but I really don't mind. I trim it as needed. I also grew these cucumbers from seeds. It is my first time growing cucumbers. This blue flower, it was not here until I started watering the cucumber plants, and then it grew along with it, and I'm totally okay with it. Again, pollinators love it. I'm gonna leave it. And then also, for the longest time, there is this plant next to my cucumber plant. I grew a cucumber plant in that spot, and I was like, oh my gosh, this cucumber plant looks weird and different. It's because it's not a cucumber plant. It is a calendula flower. I don't know how. I don't know how the calendulas got all the way over here, but this is why this section is called the a little bit of everything section, because they're all just growing harmoniously together. And I'm really hoping to get cucumbers this season, so wish me luck. And if you have any cucumber tips, please let me know. I already bought a trellis because I'm also planning on growing pumpkins. It is not one of those like big arch trellises. It's like the A-frame trellises. This is my beautiful white sage bush. Many of you know I am a tarot reader and intuitive medium, and no, I do not use this for smoke cleansing. We use for smoke cleansing is a Filipino practice. We get guava leaves, also known as bayabas. And these are just some of our flower plants and our succulent. This is our succulent buttercup. I was told it was a buttercup cactus, which is why I named it buttercup. In the late summer and sometimes early spring, she blooms these beautiful, vibrant pink flowers on her, and it's so pretty. She was doing great last season, but this season, I can tell she's struggling a bit, so I've been trying to give her some more water. If anyone has any succulent tips, please let me know. And then we have our two plants here. I believe this one is a carnation. This is La Bonbon. My boyfriend has named the carnation La Bonbon after his favorite memes, which are the LeBron James memes. There is this blue thing in front of La Bonbon, again, because the people at the nursery said that they needed full sun. I don't think La Bonbon likes full sun. La Bonbon is drying out. We are going to move La Bonbon soon, as well as Messy. I forgot what flower it is, but I will insert it in the video. It had beautiful, tiny little blue flowers, and it's supposed to spread out. They also said Messy needs full sun, and it seems like Messy does not like full sun. Maybe it's just so hot this season. As you can tell, there is nothing here. There is a pile here, and it is called the witch pile. I just wanted to show it to you because it is an essential part of my garden. We do not put anything in the witch pile. Why is it called the witch pile? I do spells. Whatever is left over, I throw it in the pile, hence the witch pile. But the witch pile has now become something that we just throw things in. It's a little bit like our compost area. Plants that are dead, we throw it in the witch pile. Our leftovers from like vegetable scraps, we throw it in the witch pile. All of my friends come over and they're like, that would be so scary if something started growing in the witch pile. It did. It was a cosmo flower. I never grew a cosmo flower in the witch pile. My family didn't. I called my sister too just to double check, and she was like, I've never planted anything there. So I was like, great. This big beautiful tree that we have here is another guava tree, and it's called feijoa. It is also known as pineapple guava, and as you can see, there's flowers on it now, which is a good sign because once they are pollinated, those flowers will turn into pineapple guava. We do get them every fall, so I'm very excited. This tree was actually not producing fruit for a very long time, and like I said, I liked to use my favorite thing, which is used coffee grounds. So I'd put it at the stem. It started producing again. Such a great tasting fruit. You eat the inside of it and it is really soft. It's mostly sweet and then a little bit sour. It's so good. This is Carlisle. Every single one of them. They're all Carlisle. Yes, named after the Twilight character. These are my corn plants. We have tried to grow corn every year. Has always been unsuccessful, but I'm really hoping we have corn for the fall. Last time we only had 4 corn plants, but these are all growing great right now. If anyone has any corn tips, please let me know. The closest I've got to growing a good corn, the cobs grow and then I harvest it and then they're like empty. So it's like boneless corn. Here is my lime tree. Oh my gosh, I'm not pointing at it. I'm gonna admit, I thought lemons and limes were the same thing. I thought it was the whole bell pepper situation where it's like all color of the bell peppers are the same bell pepper. It's just that you're getting them at different stages of their growth. So I thought the same thing. And I was like, oh, this is a lemon tree. And everyone's like,
No, Avery, it's a lime tree.
but then when you leave them on the tree long enough, they will turn yellow. Lemon trees are a different thing and lime trees are a different thing. I didn't know. Like I said, very new to gardening. Oh my gosh, that breeze feels so nice. This is my rosemary bush. My parents planted this when we moved to this house, and it was a small bush and it's grown vastly, as you can tell. And they also produce these very beautiful tiny blue flowers, like bluish purple flowers in the fall. And I think it's so funny because I'll tell people when they come over like, oh my gosh, if you want rosemary, like I'll get you a bundle from my garden. You know, they're being nice and shy and they're like,
Oh, that's okay. Like, I don't want to take all of it.
and then I show them the bush and they're like, oh. I use rosemary for everything. I stir fry my potatoes in rosemary. I use it on top of cheeses. Favorite thing to use rosemary for, a baked brie with salt, some pepper, some rosemary, and some honey. Yummy, yummy. I also use it a lot in my practice for spell work. It's known to be very protective and cleansing. So. We are in my bathroom. This is where I caca and we whiz, folks. I just recently started having indoor plants. First plant that we have is Chispita. She is a silver pothos, or also known as a satin pothos. I named her Chispita because my boyfriend told me that Chispita means like little sparks, and she has like these little silvery sparks on her leaves. I got her from a plant store in downtown San Jose called Plant Slut, and she's been thriving ever since. The next plant that I have, another pothos, her name is Maliwanag, goes by Molly for short. Maliwanag means bright in Tagalog. She has these bright leaves, and like the streaks that she has on her leaves are really bright. I got Molly at a plant festival. They said that she was a hybrid of a queen pothos and a neon pothos. After getting pothos plants, I discovered they're actually great for spiritual practices because they're good for shadow work. They symbolize intuition, wisdom, development, growth, success. Really great at keeping negative energies away. So I was like, great, perfect plant for me. As you can tell, my favorite Pop Mart series is the Duku series. The Farmer Duku series looks great next to my plants. If you have any other beginner plant recommendations, please let me know. Okay everyone, we are back outside because I wanted to give everyone a quick reminder. Gardening in certain aspects is a form of resistance. With high prices on vegetables and produce and a lack of these things in some areas, growing your own food is a way to challenge food prices, allow you and the community around you access to fresh and affordable produce, and reconnect with nature. Nature nourishes us in countless ways by providing the food we eat, the air we breathe, the homes we live in, and so much more. The earth gives us so much every single day, often without us even realizing it. So in return, we have a responsibility to show gratitude and care for the earth that we live on, and we must continue to protect, advocate for, and to learn about the natural world around us. So if you have the space to grow your own food, try it out, and remember to support small and local farmers. Thank you all so much for watching till the end. Thank you in advance if anyone leaves any gardening tips. I would love to grow my gardening knowledge. I hope everyone is staying safe. I hope everyone is staying healthy, and I will see you all next time. Bye! Bye, 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 bye! Thank you for watching. It's so hot. I'm fucking sweating. Oh my gosh, my thighs are chafing. What the fuck?